Welcome to our English shadowing practice. Today we have for you 150 phrases for the business meeting English. Listen carefully, then repeat. Try to match the rhythm, the stress, and the natural flow. Ready? Let's go.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Let's get started. We have a lot to cover. Let's get started. We have a lot to cover. Thank you all for making the time today. Thank you all for making the time today. Shall we begin, or are we still waiting? Shall we begin, or are we still waiting? Let's wait a couple more minutes for everyone. Let's wait a couple more minutes for everyone. I think we're all here now. Let's start. I think we're all here now. Let's start. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see you all. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see you all. Let's kick off with a quick introduction. Let's kick off with a quick introduction. Before we start, let me share the agenda. Before we start, let me share the agenda. Feel free to jump in with any questions. Feel free to jump in with any questions. The main goal today is to review progress. The main goal today is to review progress. We have 3 key points to discuss today. We have 3 key points to discuss today. Let's keep this meeting short and focused. Let's keep this meeting short and focused. First, let's go over last week's results. First, let's go over last week's results. After that, we'll talk about the budget. After that, we'll talk about the budget. Let's leave some time for questions at the end. Let's leave some time for questions at the end. I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on this. I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on this. Let's try to finish within the hour. Let's try to finish within the hour. Please hold your questions until the end. Thanks. Please hold your questions until the end. Thanks. Does anyone want to add to the agenda? Does anyone want to add to the agenda? For those who don't know me, I'm Sarah. For those who don't know me, I'm Sarah. I work in the marketing department. Hello, everyone. I work in the marketing department. Hello, everyone. Let's quickly go around and introduce ourselves. Let's quickly go around and introduce ourselves. I'm joining today on behalf of the team. I'm joining today on behalf of the team. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me. I'll be leading this project going forward. I'll be leading this project going forward. I'm here to give a short update. I'm here to give a short update. Please introduce yourself and your role. Thank you. Please introduce yourself and your role. Thank you. I've been with the company for 5 years. I've been with the company for 5 years. It's a pleasure to finally meet you all. It's a pleasure to finally meet you all. Let me give you a quick project update. Let me give you a quick project update. So far, everything is going according to plan. So far, everything is going according to plan. We're a little behind schedule, to be honest. We're a little behind schedule, to be honest. We've made great progress over the last month. We've made great progress over the last month. The numbers are looking very positive this quarter. The numbers are looking very positive this quarter. Unfortunately, we've run into a small problem. Unfortunately, we've run into a small problem. We're still waiting on feedback from the client. We're still waiting on feedback from the client. The launch is on track for next month. The launch is on track for next month. We've finished the first phase of the project. We've finished the first phase of the project. Let me walk you through the latest figures. Let me walk you through the latest figures. In my opinion, we should move forward with this. In my opinion, we should move forward with this. I think this is a really strong idea. I think this is a really strong idea. Personally, I have some concerns about the timeline. Personally, I have some concerns about the timeline. I'm not entirely convinced this will work. I'm not entirely convinced this will work. From my point of view, it makes sense. From my point of view, it makes sense. I'd like to suggest a slightly different approach. I'd like to suggest a slightly different approach. Honestly, I think we need more time. Honestly, I think we need more time. I strongly believe this is the right decision. I strongly believe this is the right decision. If I may, I'd like to add something. If I may, I'd like to add something. That's just my take on the situation. That's just my take on the situation. I completely agree with what you just said. I completely agree with what you just said. That's a great point. I hadn't considered it. That's a great point. I hadn't considered it. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. I'm fully on board with this plan. I'm fully on board with this plan. You make a very good point there. You make a very good point there. I think we're all on the same page. I think we're all on the same page. That works perfectly for me. Let's do it. That works perfectly for me. Let's do it. I couldn't agree with you more, honestly. I couldn't agree with you more, honestly. Yes, let's go ahead with that idea. Yes, let's go ahead with that idea. Absolutely, that sounds like the right move. Absolutely, that sounds like the right move. I see your point, but I have to disagree. I see your point, but I have to disagree. I'm afraid I don't quite agree with that. I'm afraid I don't quite agree with that. With respect, I think there's another way. With respect, I think there's another way. I understand, but I'm not so sure. I understand, but I'm not so sure. That's one option, but let me push back. That's one option, but let me push back. I hear you, though I see it differently. I hear you, though I see it differently. Can we look at this from another angle? Can we look at this from another angle? I'm not sure that's the best approach here. I'm not sure that's the best approach here. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment. I have a slightly different view on this. I have a slightly different view on this. Could you explain that point in more detail? Could you explain that point in more detail? Sorry, could you clarify what you mean exactly? Sorry, could you clarify what you mean exactly? Just to be clear, are you saying this? Just to be clear, are you saying this? Can you give us a quick example? Can you give us a quick example? What exactly do you mean by that? What exactly do you mean by that? Could you go back to the previous slide? Could you go back to the previous slide? I'm not sure I follow. Can you repeat? I'm not sure I follow. Can you repeat? How does that affect our current timeline? How does that affect our current timeline? What's the reasoning behind that particular decision? What's the reasoning behind that particular decision? Can we double-check those numbers before deciding? Can we double-check those numbers before deciding? Let's not get off track, please, everyone. Let's not get off track, please, everyone. That's a good point. Let's come back to it. That's a good point. Let's come back to it. Let's park that idea for a later discussion. Let's park that idea for a later discussion. We're running low on time. Let's move on. We're running low on time. Let's move on. Let's give everyone a chance to speak. Let's give everyone a chance to speak. Sorry to interrupt, but we need to decide. Sorry to interrupt, but we need to decide. Let's take this offline and discuss it later. Let's take this offline and discuss it later. Can we focus on the main issue, please? Can we focus on the main issue, please? Let's hear from someone who hasn't spoken yet. Let's hear from someone who hasn't spoken yet. I'd like to bring us back on topic. I'd like to bring us back on topic. So, are we all agreed on this then? So, are we all agreed on this then? Let's take a vote to decide quickly. Let's take a vote to decide quickly. I think we've reached a clear decision. I think we've reached a clear decision. Let's go with the first option then. Let's go with the first option then. Can we all commit to this plan today? Can we all commit to this plan today? Let's finalize the details before we leave. Let's finalize the details before we leave. We'll need approval before moving forward with it. We'll need approval before moving forward with it. Let's set a firm deadline for this task. Let's set a firm deadline for this task. Who would like to take ownership of this? Who would like to take ownership of this? I'm happy to lead on that, no problem. I'm happy to lead on that, no problem. Let's quickly go over the action items. Let's quickly go over the action items. So, who is responsible for each task? So, who is responsible for each task? I'll send out the meeting notes afterwards. I'll send out the meeting notes afterwards. Please have your parts ready by Friday. Please have your parts ready by Friday. Let's schedule a follow-up for next week. Let's schedule a follow-up for next week. I'll follow up with you by email. I'll follow up with you by email. Can everyone update the shared document today? Can everyone update the shared document today? Let's check in again at the same time. Let's check in again at the same time. Please keep me posted on your progress. Please keep me posted on your progress. We'll review all of this in our next meeting. We'll review all of this in our next meeting. That's a valid concern. Let's address it now. That's a valid concern. Let's address it now. How can we solve this problem together? How can we solve this problem together? Let's brainstorm a few possible solutions here. Let's brainstorm a few possible solutions here. What resources do we need to fix this? What resources do we need to fix this? Let's not panic, we can work this out. Let's not panic, we can work this out. We'll need a backup plan just in case. We'll need a backup plan just in case. Let's identify the root cause of the issue. Let's identify the root cause of the issue. I think we can turn this around quickly. I think we can turn this around quickly. Let's weigh the pros and cons carefully. Let's weigh the pros and cons carefully. What's the worst that could realistically happen here? What's the worst that could realistically happen here? Let me share my screen with you now. Let me share my screen with you now. Can everyone see my screen clearly now? Can everyone see my screen clearly now? On this slide, you can see the results. On this slide, you can see the results. As you can see from the chart here, As you can see from the chart here, let me highlight the most important numbers. Let me highlight the most important numbers. I'll send these slides to you afterwards. I'll send these slides to you afterwards. Please hold your questions until I'm finished. Please hold your questions until I'm finished. Let's move on to the next slide. Let's move on to the next slide. That brings me to my final point. That brings me to my final point. Thanks, that's the end of my presentation. Thanks, that's the end of my presentation. Can everyone hear me okay on the call? Can everyone hear me okay on the call? Sorry, you're on mute, we can't hear you. Sorry, you're on mute, we can't hear you. Could you turn your camera on, please? Could you turn your camera on, please? I think we have a bad connection today. I think we have a bad connection today. You're breaking up a little, please repeat that. You're breaking up a little, please repeat that. Let's give people a minute to join in. Let's give people a minute to join in. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. I'll drop the link in the chat now. I'll drop the link in the chat now. Can you see the document I just shared? Can you see the document I just shared? Sorry, I think my internet just froze. Sorry, I think my internet just froze. I think that covers everything for today. I think that covers everything for today. Does anyone have any final questions or comments? Does anyone have any final questions or comments? Thank you all for your time and input. Thank you all for your time and input. Let's wrap up, we're right on time. Let's wrap up, we're right on time. It was a very productive meeting, thank you. It was a very productive meeting, thank you. I'll send a summary out later today. I'll send a summary out later today. Thanks everyone, let's talk again next week. Thanks everyone, let's talk again next week. Great work today everyone, really well done. Great work today everyone, really well done. Have a great rest of your day everyone. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thanks again, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks again, and I'll see you all soon.
And that's all 150 phrases. Great work today. The more you shadow, the more natural your business English becomes. If this helped you, please like and subscribe. See you next time.